Welcome to our news for today. There are 4 things that I'd like to talk to you about. The first, and probably most importantly, is an update on the COVID situation, and especially church in regard to what our Prime Minister Boris Johnson shared with us all on Wednesday. Boris introduced this new rule, the rule of 6, and some people have been worried that that might affect what we can do here at church. The good news is, in the broadest sense, there are no changes for our Sunday worship practices. We are allowed to come together in church and communally worship. What does change is that we are requested within that church setting then to sort of stay as much as possible within our group of 6, within our bubble. So that means, for example, if there were 20 people at church in the morning, we couldn't go and talk to all 20. We would have to stay in our group. Remember, when I talk about talk, we can talk to people, but if we stay at a distance of more than 2 meters, if we keep our masks on, then we're fine. And as when we're in church, we have masks on and we're keeping our 2 meter distances, we will be fine. To further extend that, say if we've got a funeral, we've got 30 people in the building for a funeral, which is our maximum we can have for funerals or weddings, 30. Again, you wouldn't be able to go and mix with all of those people. The idea is that you stay within your group of 6, and that is obviously designed, intended to restrict the potential for the virus to spread. So that is number 1. Number 2, I want to talk about our special offering, and this is wonderful news. You will remember that I gave us all a challenge to see if we could raise and get our special offering up to a total of £30,000. Well, I'm delighted to say that now, with the addition of gift aid, we are currently at £30,500. So we're £500 above target. But let's not stop there. If you've not given yet, if God's challenged you to give a bit more, if God's something laid on your heart that you've got to do, then let's do it. Let's keep on raising that total. Third thing I want to talk to you about is the building itself. The builders this week have been working on the internal structure of the building, putting brickwork in, the dividing walls up between the toilets and the kitchens. They've been bricking in some of the windows on the back of our existing church building, because of course what it was, our back wall of the church building becomes the front wall of the extension. And so great things are happening. It's really looking different, it's changing, and it won't be long until the builders have finished phase 1 of the building. When they finish, we're then going to talk to them about how we spend the rest of our money to get the best use of it. The fourth and final thing is a congratulations to Charlotte and Damien. They did their walk on Wednesday. I know that I like the way that the video started off all really positive and all high energy, and towards the end of the walk they were a bit more lower in energy, and oh yes, my feet are hurting, and yes, my legs are aching. But they did it. And we have to do our part now by making our contribution. If you've sponsored them, make sure you pay the money. If you haven't sponsored, you can still do so. And let's raise as much possible as we can for STM, which, remember, that is all about taking the good news of the Lord Jesus Christ into our schools here in Basildon so they can impact on the lives of children. And our prayer is always that those children who hear about Jesus in their assemblies, in junior school, in primary school, will have Jesus as part of their lives, in their hearts, for the rest of their lives. It's an amazing thing, an amazing opportunity that God has given us. The favour that God has given us in the schools of Basildon is amazing, unparalleled. And we must maintain and use the fullness of that opportunity. So thank you. Make sure that you sponsor them if you haven't already done so. Okay, that's the end of the news. I'm now going to hand over to Becky Walsh, who's going to talk to us about activating social justice.